And I'm pretty sure this is where we're going to be going for the next step of Andy's holiday experience. Hello folks and welcome to today's vlog, or specifically, welcome to some story time with Kev. Today we're going to be telling the story of how we went from Andy having never been on holiday, aged 13, to begging for our next holiday, aged 14, and also revealing where we're planning on going next. But first, I want to thank Wargaming for coming to me with a sponsorship opportunity for this episode in conjunction with their game World of Tanks. World of Tanks is a free-to-play, team-based game with over 500 historically accurate tanks and over 150 million players worldwide. If that sounds like something that's up your street, or even if you just want to be able to help out the channel without it costing you anything to do, then there is a link down in the description where you can sign up for World of Tanks and, as part of this sponsorship deal, get access to a free premium tank, plus lots of other in-game goodies. Now, I'll direct you to that link again at the end of the episode, but first I wanted to show you some of the footage from the game. It's important that you know that although World of Tanks is a free-to-play game, it's not a mobile game. It's a legitimate PC game with regular updates. It's easy to learn, but difficult to master, and it rewards skillful gameplay. The developers are very keen to emphasise that you get out what you're willing to put into the game. There's a steady tech progression tree, and it's not a fast-paced shooter like Overwatch or Fortnite. And like I say, you can try the game out using the link below, completely free, and by doing that you are helping support the channel without it costing you a penny, plus you get access to those free in-game goodies. So the link to World of Tanks is the very first thing in the description to this video. I would appreciate it if you go and check that out. All of which leads us on to story time. So the story of Andy's first holiday, and it was certainly a long time coming. We sort of maybe 13 months ago, we had never taken him on holiday, and although we thought it might be a nice thing to do at some point, we never really took it seriously as something that he'd be able to cope with. He doesn't like being away from the internet for too long. He doesn't like being away from home for too long. If we even take him out for the day somewhere, he's usually asking to come home within 2 or 3 hours. You've seen that from our theme park videos. But around about this time last year, like I say, about 13 months ago, we were invited by my dad to come and stay for a night in his tent. Today's going to be a little bit different from a normal vlog, however, could be massively significant. In the 5 years that Anna's lived here, never once have we been able to take Andy away on a holiday, ever. We've not had a single night away with him. We're having that night away tonight if all goes well. So away we went. We were worried. We weren't really sure how it was going to turn out. We were hopeful that we were going to have a good night, and we knew that it was just going to be one night, but we still had absolutely no idea how he was going to be able to cope with it. Well, it's 8 o'clock. He's tucked up in there. He's not...
He is tucked up.
properly tucked up in there. It seems to be going okay. So Andy settled in fine to camping and really enjoyed it. He liked being in his little tent. He liked the fact that he was able to just lie on there, plugs next to him so he could have his iPad plugged in. He was having a whale of a time. Unfortunately, we fairly quickly discovered that although Andy seemed to take to it, camping wasn't necessarily something that suited the rest of the family. We survived the night. Dave's grumpy. Andy slept through till 6. This is progress. It's 7:15 AM. We're awake. Dave's already had his breakfast. I need to show you the sleeping situation that we had last night, because I'm a little achy this morning, and it's because, come down here, this was Anna's mattress, nice and comfortable and fine. This was my mattress. That's the mattress I slept on.
Funny.
Why do you find that so humorous?
I slept on the floor.
I really ache. So after that experience and the back problems, the weeks of back problems that came with it, we kind of put ideas for a holiday on the back burner for a little while. We were getting towards the end of August. Realistically, we weren't going to get anything else done last year. And in our minds, our next step was always going to be we wanted to get him to a hotel at some point this year. Time passed. We mentioned it a few times on the vlog that it was something that we were looking to do. We wanted to be able to take him away somewhere. But then we got the phone call saying that Anna's mum had been rushed into hospital. We had to rush over to Nottingham and we couldn't come home. We needed to stay there for a few days. And kind of without any warning, without any preparation, we thrust the very first night of Andy's life that he would spend in a hotel on him. So this isn't quite the circumstances we expected to do this in. But we have talked about doing this year, so I guess circumstances dictate it happens now. Andy's going to be staying in a hotel for the first time in his life tonight. This is the room that we've got. I'll come over here so you can see what we've got. It was literally the cheapest hotel we could find in the centre of Nottingham on short notice. So it's just a Premier Inn. We have the toilet, we have mine and Anna's bed, we have a desk for me to edit this vlog together. And Andy has a bed over here. Are you all settled in? Is that good?
Yeah.
Are you tired?
We'll go to tram. We'll go to bed and then
It
tram.
is. What time is it? My watch has died. So he seemed to be quite comfortable for his first night. He was very much there on the basis of he still wanted to do his normal Nottingham things. He was very, very keen to go to the trams, go up and down in lifts. But he was kind of enjoying the idea of there's lifts in this hotel. There's trams outside this hotel. I can plug my iPad in and lie in bed in this hotel. I think I might quite enjoy this. You join us having survived Andy's first ever night in a hotel room. He is fully functional, still alive. We've slept all night. He didn't actually wake up until about 6 AM. So it's been a perfectly serviceable night in a hotel. What time do you reckon he went to sleep? About the same time as us, wasn't it? So we all went to sleep about 11 o'clock, which is obviously not ideal, but he was loving being able to just lie there with his iPad in bed while we were reading and stuff. Yeah, plugged in as well, because he's got a plug right next to the bed. So he's pretty happy with that. He was also loving the fact that from his bed with the window open, which I think he's opened himself, he can hear the trams going past, because the tram line is like 30 yards that way. When we go down for breakfast in a second, we are going to be able to see the trams from where we're eating breakfast. He is absolutely desperate to get out and about in Nottingham and do his normal Nottingham stuff. So we've got a busy morning ahead of us. We're going to head out on the trams. We're going to head to the shopping centre so we can go up and down our normal lifts. Then, of course, the reason we're here in Nottingham is this afternoon we're going to go and see Anna's mum in hospital again, and hopefully she'll be all right. Now, as far as we were concerned when that clip was first recorded, that was going to be that. We expected it to just be the one night in Nottingham. But unfortunately, Anna's mum did take a turn for the worst. Anna had to rush into the hospital, and we ended up having to rebook into a different room in the same hotel for that night. But as they say, every cloud has a silver lining, and although it was a horrible situation for everyone involved, and he didn't really understand the horrible situation, and was certainly starting to show signs that he was enjoying hotel life. Because I'm a prepared dad, I always have a 5-metre extension cable with a 4-way adapter on the end. I've met Andy before. Oh, you're going to plug it in next to the bed? There's USB things in the wall, so he's just going to plug it in. He knows his way around the room already. So, we're back in Peterborough, and apparently Andy can do hotels. He really enjoyed his time in the Premier Inn. So immediately we got to thinking, right, we need to get this whole holiday plan back in place. We haven't really thought about it for a while, but now we know he can do it. Let's do it. And we came up with a plan. So we do have a plan, a 3-part plan for getting him on holiday. So our 3-part plan, hopefully we'll be able to get part 1 done at some point this year, but it does depend on money. So we're trying to collect some money together from somewhere at the moment so we can do part 1 of the plan. But it's a 3-part plan to get us to Disney, basically. Part 1 of the plan is all about testing. Okay, now we know he can stay in a hotel, but it was in a hotel somewhere near to home and somewhere that he was used to, somewhere he used to live, somewhere where he's comfortable with his surroundings. So what we need to do is try and replicate that as much as possible, whilst at the same time taking him somewhere completely new. So part 1, what we'll try and do later on this year, is Blackpool. because Blackpool is a little bit further away. It'll be the longest journey he's ever been on. It's about 3.5, 4 hours from here to get to Blackpool. But Blackpool obviously has Premier Inns, but it has trams. It has the seaside, which he likes. It has the lights. It has the tower. It has the Pleasure Beach amusement park. It has all these things that we'll know he'll like, but he's never been there before. So taking him there will be a big test of how he copes with going away, staying in a hotel somewhere where he's never been before. If he does well with that, the next plan will be to try and get him abroad. So I've been doing some research to see where the best place in the world is for trams, and it seems Prague is the place to go for trams. So if we manage to get him through Blackpool, at some point next year, we'll try and get like a couple of days in Prague, so where we can go and stay in a different hotel, because I'm presuming they don't have Premier Inns there, but he'll have to fly over there to see how he gets on with an aeroplane. We'll perhaps even just go for 1 night, 1 or 2 nights. But there's loads of trams there, plus historical buildings, churches, that kind of thing. So there is stuff there that he'd enjoy to do. And then, of course, the last step, if he manages to get through that, would be the big end goal, which we've wanted to do for years, which is take him to Disney, either in Paris or in America, depending on how our finances are doing at the time. But a lot of it depends. He's watching the Premier Inn advert again.
Yeah.
Premier Inn, if you're watching and you want to sort us out with some kind of season pass, so that we can just tour him around the country, making videos from your hotels, you know where to find me. The email is down on the About page. But yeah, that's the plan. We would, for the first time really ever, based on how much he clearly wants to go away and do his holiday again, it looks like we might actually be able to start thinking in terms of having holidays, which is something we've never been able to do before. Now, as much sense as the 3-part plan made to us, it did rely on us obviously having the money to be able to follow through on it. And unfortunately, as those of you who've been watching the channel for a little while will know, about a week after we got back to Peterborough, we did get another phone call. Anna's mum had taken a turn for the worst, and unfortunately she did pass away shortly afterwards. So of course we had to travel back to Nottingham, book ourselves back into the Premier Inn again, and the combination of that and having to eat Deliveroo food and obviously having to pay our contribution towards funeral costs and things like that. Although Andy was still getting his hotel time and becoming more and more accustomed to being in a hotel and enjoying himself, any money that we might have had available to go on holiday this summer was very quickly eaten up in all of the costs associated with a very difficult couple of weeks for us. We're now at our hotel for tonight, which is actually a better location than one we had before, because it's right near the hospital, which is where we need to go to pick up the thing when we get the phone call. We don't have the trams here. We do have a car park on site though, which we didn't have at the other place. And Andy's equally as impressed with this one because we're opposite a church.
Where I used to sing at.
This is why Andy likes hotels, I think. Some of you have mentioned this in the comments as well. We've now been in 4 different rooms in 2 different hotels in the last 7 days, and they've all looked exactly like this. And it's exactly the same room, obviously as you'd expect from a national chain. Slightly different mirror style, but that's it. You alright?
Yeah.
Right, you're going to get yourself set up over there then. Now what we did learn there, of course, is that it didn't matter to Andy what hotel he was in, what room he was in within the hotel. He just really enjoyed being in a hotel. And actually over the course of the next couple of weeks, and you would have seen this in the vlog as it was happening, Andy became more and more obsessed with Premier Inn as a company, watching their adverts, hanging out on their website, finding out where they had other hotels. And it even got to the point where he planned his own trip to Blackpool. Andy, what are you watching?
The Prick Toys and the Smells.
Oh, you're watching that now, are you?
Go to Premier Inn to go to sleep in Blackpool.
I see. Which Premier Inn do you want to stay in?
To the number?
Which number?
20.
I see.
101.
So you want to stay at Premier Inn in Blackpool?
Yeah, but the sleepy, yeah.
Excellent. The only problem was, of course, that as much as we wanted to be able to take him to Blackpool after all of the expenses we'd incurred over the previous month, we just didn't have the money to do it. And we kind of thought at that point, okay, we need to put the holiday plan on the back burner again. This isn't going to be something that we're going to be able to do. But at the same time as putting it on the back burner, I did send a very speculative email, and it's not the first time I've done this with companies, and I've never even had a reply before, let alone a positive reply. But I did send Premier Inn an email. I attached some of those videos and some of those video clips, explained Andy's story, basically told them what I'm telling you now about the background behind him never having a holiday, sampling a few different things, getting to stay in one of their hotels, really enjoying it, told them this full story, sent them some clips, and they came back with good news. We have some very exciting news. We are absolutely delighted to be able to announce that we've been able to partner with Premier Inn. Stop listening. Who are going to be sending us to Blackpool. The trip that we've been talking about for ages. We're going to be going there in the next couple of weeks and recording a couple of videos there. We're going to be there for a few nights. They are obviously going to be hashtag sponsored videos while we're there, but I'm sure you can understand why we want to do that, because A, they're a company who Andy clearly has an awful lot of time for, and B, and it's the only way we'd be able to do it because we're skint. We wouldn't be able to go to Blackpool if it wasn't for this. This is why we've been kind of holding off on confirming whether we're definitely going or not, because we knew we couldn't afford to just pay for it. So we got to go to Blackpool. Now, if you want to see what we did there, if by any chance you've not seen those videos yet, there is a whole playlist on our trip to Blackpool. But we did have a little bit of a wobble when we first got there because he didn't actually want to leave the hotel. He'd been so focused on Premier Inn and so focused on hotel life that he didn't actually want to have a holiday while he was there. And he did take some convincing. Andy, is it good?
Yeah.
We're going to go out soon.
We have one more sleep.
We've got to go out first because we need to go and get you some crisps.
In Premier Inn?
No, we're going to go out to Tesco and get some crisps. Yeah, we're not just staying in the Premier Inn, we've got to go out as well.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we're going to go to the tower and go in the big lift.
No.
Yes, we are.
One more.
Yeah, we have to go in the tower.
One more.
He's not at all interested in doing anything other than being in the hotel. But convince him we did, and we did end up getting him out the next day, and he had a fantastic day. He absolutely loved it.
Okay, this is your jackpot game. So please move by the boards. I know some of this one is water, so move by the boards for this one again. Okay.
All of which means that the 3-part plan is back on. Sort of. We are changing it slightly because what Blackpool has taught us is that the whole Premier Inn part of it is very, very important. And I think we have to be very careful not to change too many elements in one go. As much as we would like to go on the trip to Prague that we talked about before, that's going to involve going on an aeroplane for the first time, going to a foreign country for the first time, and staying in a non-Premier Inn hotel for the first time. That feels like there's too many things that are changing in one go there. And it does have the potential for disaster in a country that we've flown to and obviously can't just leave and come home from if he just doesn't like it at all. So we had a little bit of a chat about this on one of my live streams the other night. One of the many reasons why you should watch the live streams over on YouNow. The link to that is down in the description. But we were throwing some ideas around and I was kind of talking about this and how we weren't really sure what to do next. And somebody said, Kev, you do realise that there are some Premier Inns outside of the UK. And I said, yeah, but the only ones I could find are in Dubai, and I don't think Dubai is a realistic next step for us. But then I was told about one, and I'm pretty sure this is where we're going to be going for the next step of Andy's holiday experience, because they have Premier Inns in Dublin, and they have trams in Dublin. And of course, we'd have to fly to Dublin. So our next trip, our next thing that we're now planning, which realistically is probably going to be, we're thinking maybe Easter time next year. It's going to take a long time to get the money together to be able to take the trip. Anna and Andy don't even have passports. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to fall into place, and we need to spend a good 6 months or so saving up for it. But we are now focused on Dublin, and our plan is fly into Dublin, check into a Premier Inn, travel around the city on the trams, and just experience a different city in a different country. We've got the advantage that they've got the Premier Inn, we've got the advantage that they speak English, and of course it's fairly nearby. It's going to be a fairly short flight, and that's going to be our plan for next year. So watch this space, because that's what we're working towards now. And if that goes well, again, this is all money providing. That's why we do these sponsored videos and things now. It all goes into the holiday part. So if you did click on the World of Tanks link earlier, thank you. You're helping make the Dublin trip a reality. But if the Dublin trip goes well around Easter time, then stage 3 of the 3-part plan is still we get the kids to Disney. And hopefully, if everything comes together the way I hope it does, we might even be able to make that happen next summer. And that would be amazing. But I am going to leave things there on today's video. I know it's been very, very different from one of our typical videos, but we had another one of those days where Andy didn't really want to be on camera. I had this story that I wanted to tell you anyway and get the whole first ever holiday thing all together in one video, because it's spread out over all these different videos over the course of a year on the channel. So it means anyone new to the channel can get caught up on the holiday story all in one go. So if you did watch through all that stuff when it first happened, I'm sorry that this has kind of been like one of those sitcom episodes where they piece together the best of bits from previous seasons, but it did have a purpose, and we will be back to a normal vlog tomorrow. So hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for us. Thank you to Wargaming for sponsoring this episode and helping us get some money into the Dublin kitty. Again, their link is down in the description. You are helping the channel out massively and helping us out massively with our plans to get to Dublin by clicking on that link and signing up for a World of Tanks account. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that, and thank you very much for watching.